Wonderful.
And we're going to talk about some really cool things that happened just over last weekend.
But they're nipping at the heels of the big boys at the Mountain Toad on it.
For these young lads, does get a little bit out of control. So sound stuff.
This is it.
There's a television.
I'm just blown away. Yeah, I'm blown away. This is Lion Red Sports Cafe on steroids.
Isn't it? It's crazy. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. Quiet on set.
You can direct it as well as star in it.
Tutawa mai I runga, tutawa mai I raro, tutawa mai I waho, tutawa mai I roto, kia tau ai te mauri tū te mauri ora ki te katoa, haumie huie, tai ki e. Tēnā koutou e te whānau putupōro, nau mahara mai ki. Wow, what an amazing place we're at.
This is it. This is what we're talking about now. Yeah. We have finally cracked it. Kia ora koutou, I'm Craig McFadyen, this is Pat Ray, and we will host the Bay Rugby Boil Up podcast. Now, I'm really excited about this, our opportunity to talk to you guys all about all the footy that's happened over the Bay over the last week or two. So, Pat, really excited to be here at Local Gecko Productions. Can't wait to get into it.
This is crazy where we are. We got a real studio. It's got real couches. There's sound stuff.
This is it.
There's a television.
I'm just blown away. Yeah, I'm blown away. This is Lion Red Sports Cafe on steroids.
Isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah. From where we've come from, though.
Yeah, that's it. It's stepped up more than a level. You've gone from Bay Chat with one camera poking right up your nose to watch what you guys talk about. We're moving all the way to this, so this is pretty exciting. And
I need to acknowledge Marcus Howie, who's no longer with Bay Rugby, but he was the brainchild behind this. He got it off the ground.
Yeah.
Kia ora, Marcus. Well done on building a legacy that we're taking to the next level.
Taking it to the next level. That's exactly right. And in this beautiful studio here at Local Gecko Productions, I think we're very lucky to be here. I know I was called in last minute to get this. I'm fortunate enough to answer the phone when Auntie Moana rang, and she said, "I need you down here, Gags." And I said, "Oh, I'm more than happy to help out and talk some footy."
Yeah, so we're the hosts that they got, but not necessarily what they wanted. So
we're the ones that you hear every Saturday when we call in the games here for Local Gecko TV. So you'll hear our voices, and now you'll be able to put a face to the name. And I've always been told I've got a face for radio.
Face for radio.
Yeah, now I'm on the camera.
Now they've chucked our faces on the camera. So Bay Plenty Rugby Boil Up podcast.
And that's what it's all about is the whole Bay. We're looking at Central, Western and Eastern Bay, all divisions. Of course, our women's rugby as well, which is really, really exciting to see all of that televised. And you'll see a lot of that up here on the TV tonight as we discuss that stuff from right around the Bay. Awesome.
And how good is it that we'll be able to show some highlights from the games that we've been covering. We'll be able to showcase some really cool things that are going on in the community.
There's some talent out there. Jeez, there's some talent.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about some really cool things that happened just over last weekend. So these things don't happen just instantly. We've got a proud sponsor we want to acknowledge. So DDL Goodrick, they're proud to support the Bay Rugby Boil Up, Local Gecko Productions, and the communities that make Bay of Plenty Rugby special. Based in Rotorua, they combine more than 35 years of industry experience with a skilled team of over 50 local staff to deliver complex infrastructure projects with certainty.
From civil construction, drainage and drilling, through to subdivisions, concrete, asphalt and three-water infrastructure, they provide practical, reliable solutions from first cut to final completion. With extensive knowledge of the region's unique ground conditions, including the geothermal terrain and the pumice soils, DDL Goodrick is trusted to deliver quality outcomes that stand the test of time.
They are committed to building strong infrastructure, supporting local communities, and backing the grassroots rugby that brings people together, as well as your place for all things Bay of Plenty Rugby, the Bay Rugby Boil Up.
Thanks. A huge thanks there to DDL Goodrick Construction for jumping on board and supporting us with this podcast.
Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Righto, coming up, let's preview last week's fixtures. And we've even got a flash TV here that if I go like that. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Okay, so first up, we've got the Premier Men's competition from the weekend. Tauranga Sports too strong over Greta Maris 33-10.
Tauranga is absolutely humming along at the moment. 5 wins, 5 games, and 4 bonus points in the Premier Comp.
Yeah.
Absolutely humming.
Crazy that. The Marlins are too strong for Portuguese Sports. They've been going really well.
Yeah, awesome to see Portuguese back in the Premier Comp like that. And to get a score up against the Marlins, I thought that was fantastic. It was even closer than that at half time.
Yep.
And I just think that's credit to those boys in Portuguese that getting in behind this team and giving it to the rest of the Bay. It's great.
And the game that you called on the weekend at Maramatanga Park, Te Puna 27, Whakarewarewa 15.
Yep, fantastic game. And as I said in the call, it was really just a couple of opportunities. Te Puna pounced on a few mistakes there from Whakarewarewa and just made them pay for those couple of points. But even though it's a building year for Waka, these boys have got plenty of fight in them.
Good stuff. All right, moving quite along. We've got some highlights from one of the games. Let's take a look at them now. Oh, this is the first try that Greta scored. And you'll see there the young halfback, Flynn Henderson.
Flynn Henderson, he is a superstar, and he wanted to speed that game up the whole game. I got to call him playing against Whakarewarewa the week before, and he was absolutely dominant controlling that game.
And here's, I forget his name, but he didn't deserve to score that try.
No way anyone should have got through that many defenders. It's absolutely fantastic. A clean pair of heels here as well. Getting cut down there, unfortunately, but the Tauranga boys are just absolutely fantastic, able to recycle that ball, and you see front rowers ranging out here on the edge, being able to pass and carry the ball like that is that's why they're top of the table.
Yeah, and it was Toby Taylor throwing that last pass there. So 2 tries, Armstrong, Roy dotted down Allen and Arson. Santon 4 from 5, pretty handy. Hugo Santon.
Yeah, very, very good, and that's why they're where they are on the table.
Yeah, and you can see there Henderson with his try and Mutt Jr. kicking a few goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, now let's have a look at the highlights from your game.
Yeah, this was a good watch actually. Te Puna were just too strong there in the end. Whakarewarewa were able to put on some points and to put on some pressure there, but Te Puna were just too clinical. We had a bit of a drama there with some of the Wi-Fi or some of the internet, and you would have seen that was a little bit blurry, especially in the development game. But in the team at Local Gecko were able to come through and fix that one. By the looks of things, Te Puna are still running dial-up internet or something over that way, and
sure?
But they managed to get it sorted.
It wasn't our director's fault, was it?
No, I never even blame the director. He's the one that's paying. Yeah, no, it was a fantastic game there. Whakarewarewa just unlucky to get a couple of tries put on them that were turnover ball and change of play. But Te Puna are a really, really well-drilled team.
I see Te Toma's name on the score sheet.
Right, yep.
Looked like he backed up.
Yep.
Here's the table.
Yeah, this is what you want to see here. Tauranga up the top there, as I say, 5 games, 5 wins, 4 bonus points. Mount nipping at their heels, but really impressed. Their middle of the table there is anyone's game, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Portuguese, even though they're coming into this competition new, picking up a couple of bonus points.
Well, that's it, because they're getting close losses. They may not have got the wins just yet, but they're nipping at the heels of the big boys at the Mount and Tauranga.
Yeah. All right. Where are we now? Your turn? Yeah,
so this is the development, which is really, really important footy. We can't have the Premier men's stuff without the development stuff. And so it's really, really good to see these guys. We are seeing a few of the old heads coming back in. Some of the guys that are my age still strapping on the boots, which is exciting to see. And we're obviously seeing some really big scores over the last few weeks. Te Puna putting on a whole pile of points against Whakarewarewa there, which was sad for the boys in red and black. But Te Puna just too good at home. Obviously, Mount Marlins dominating rugby everywhere, including the women's that we'll talk about shortly. They were sharp against Nongata there as well. But getting the win over Portuguese. And of course, Tauranga in the development comp, they are 5 wins, 5 games, and 5 bonus points. So they're doing even better than their Premier boys.
I watched that Te Puna game on Sunday morning, and the Te Toma running around in development.
Yeah.
So
well, he backed it up, and he was able to play pretty much both games. But this is
and this is him here, right? Just doing what he did for a long, long time, carving up. And of course, reaching out and scoring what was a pretty good try.
Yeah, well, these boys that are able to play 2 games of footy back to back like that, or nearly 2 games of footy, are impressive to watch. And some of the skills of these development boys have been impressive. Been really good over the last few weeks.
And you have a look at here, there's another one, number 13, Greg Stevenson, Senior Club Working Group, club captain. He's doing a few things, and he's also running around the middle as well.
Well, running over the middle, I think is what you want to say there, Pat. Yeah. Whatever player's still lying down on his back. Can't stop him when he's that strong.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's have a look at their table. You're right, Tauranga Sports, 5 from 5, 5 bonus points.
Yep.
Marlins, Greerton, Te Puna make up the top 4. Pirates of Portuguese and Whakarewarewa coming in at 7th.
Had a good chat with Tamaho Palmer about Whakarewarewa, and he's eyeing up really developing these boys to push through to next year's comp too.
It must be really tough for them with what happened to their club rooms late last year.
Well, that's the thing for those guys. That's a huge change. So you've got a lot of people that have left the playing squad after the win last year, after winning the division last year. Then of course that fire that destroyed the club rooms. Didn't destroy the club by any stretch of the imagination. That's a very, very strong club, and they'll be back. Awesome to see that the Nongata League Club has opened up their club rooms for Whakarewarewa after matches and things like that.
Awesome story.
Whānau community, yeah.
Shout out Nongata Rugby League for providing the manakitanga there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's flip the remote. We head off into Baywide Premier Women's. Ruatoki were too strong over Rangataua, 22-7. And then the match of the
weekend, that was fantastic to see. Nongata versus the Mount Marlins Women's. Obviously, that was televised here on local Gecko TV. Fantastic game of footy, and boy, oh boy, there are some absolute superstars in both of those teams. I know some of the players from the Nongata club heading off to play for Chiefs Manawa.
Yes.
Starting to see Jesse Wharekura and the likes heading off, got the call up there, so that's exciting for those girls.
Yeah, and Tennille Fitzgerald from the Marlins, same situation.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
But we've got a few highlights to have a look at. This is the first try by Nongata. Very simple, really, just a scrum set piece move.
Yeah, they make it look simple though. You know, those pass catch drills are still very, very important. And you see this the players here for the Mount Marlins team, just too good, too strong through the middle.
Yeah, good little pop there, and that's Castaneda going over there in the left-hand corner.
Yeah, but again, if you watch here, big wide ball out like that, that's I can't do that.
Yeah, no, there was some really good tries in this game, and this is the tail end of the last try. Watch this pass here, bang.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
Hands there by the prop. She played exceptionally well, actually.
Yeah.
I think we've got a few more highlights of her coming up soon.
And that was the try that levelled up the score. And then, so that's 78 minutes to go. So that's how close this game really was.
Yeah, it was. It was an nail biter right down. Really good crowd down at the Nongata Domain as well. I thought that was that was awesome that the whole community came down to support the women and get them behind them. I know that's a good, strong club. Got connections with that club myself, actually.
Looked pretty cold though on the sidelines.
Oh, it's actually the sunny side of the mountain over there in Nongata. So it's a lovely spot.
Yeah. All right. Let's have a look here. Papuni, Wharemate. Oh, here's the table. Wharemate, Anderson, Tito, and Smith, the try scorers with Paratikingi 2 from 4.
Yep, that's Anna Smith there. That's Steve Smith's daughter. Lovely young lady there.
And Mulling got 2, the speedster, and then the winger on the outside edge.
Yeah.
So here's the table. Only a couple of rounds into it. 3 teams there with a win, a draw, and then of course you got those 2 teams that Ruatoki and Rangataua with a win and a loss.
Still early days there for the women's competition.
Yeah.
Great to see Nongi up on the top there, but as I say, really early and still very, very close.
Righto. Next we're heading to the Colts 85s. There's just the 5 teams in it. Tauranga Sports too strong over Greerton 15-0 and the Marlins 47-19 over Taupō. Shows
that depth in the Tauranga Sports community. The Raptors have just got it absolutely everywhere. Lots of players, which is great to see. We all know how difficult it is now to field teams and how that's impacting the other divisions of our bay and throughout the country. But the Raptors in Tauranga have definitely got a lot of players there, and that shows in all of their different grades.
Oh, chatting to one of the coaches of the development side, 120 people running around on a Tuesday, Thursday night.
Yeah, isn't that awesome to see, eh?
Crazy, all scrapping for field space.
Yeah.
So, yep. And we've got highlights from the Colts game because it was played on the number 1 field. And you have a look at here, there's this young guy playing on the right wing. Does he not look like a young Muni Narawa to you?
Looks like a Muni Narawa. When I watched that, I thought about Dan Carter when he was playing against the Lions.
Yeah.
And he grubbed it down the field, managed to field it himself and score. That was very talented young man.
Yeah. And they scored a few tries down that right-hand end. This is the captain Nielsen there, little pop pass. And that young fella there, Vakasiola, there's like 3 of them, I think, and they all play for the club. There's Isake, Tomasi, and this is baby brother.
Baby brother's doing well. That's a fantastic line to be running there just off his shoulder.
So here's the table here on the Colts. Pretty tight at the top. Marlins, Tauranga Sports, Te Puke, Greerton, and Taupo Sports. Good to have a King Country side in there making up the numbers.
Yeah, fantastic to see Taupo travelling and getting over there as well and being a part of that. Just builds that competition as well, which is really important.
I have heard, though, that the bus trip to Taupo coming home for these young lads does get a little bit out of control. So
when I was playing for Whakarewa years ago, we'd have the bus trip back from Opotiki, always the highlight of the season for me. I can't remember any of the footy, but I can tell you the bus trips home were good fun. So I hope the boys in Taupo are doing the same.
Well, great to see things don't change. All right, let's get around the sub-union, shall we?
Yes, wonderful stuff.
Eastern Bay Premier, this competition is such a humdinger.
Yeah.
Played on Friday night. They launched the new lights at Rugby Park on Friday night, so there were a couple of games. Whakatane Maris, too strong over Ruatoki, 31-24. Paro, too strong over TVC. We'll talk about TVC in a minute, 10-5. And Poroporo getting over Taneatua, 17-13.
Yeah, but what I like about that is how close each of those games is. Shows that their competition's very, very, very close, and anyone's game each week. So really, really good to see. Just to try on it for each of those games.
So TVC, they're an East Coast team. They're participating in the Eastern Bay Premier competition because of with all the weather that's been had down the East Coast. With 35 closed. So they can't play their opposition. So it's great to have them here. It's also a pretty good trip when you head down there. The referee's got to travel. So been down to referee at TVC. Pretty hospitable down there.
Yeah,
so.
I can imagine they'd look after you very, very well.
Very, very well.
But it's neat that the Eastern Bay of Plenty sub-union have got together and included them in there. That can only be good for our game.
It's fantastic stuff. Yeah. Okay, we've got their table, and you can see at the top of their table, Te Teko, 5 from 5, Whakatane Maris.
Texas boys are looking really, really sharp at the moment.
Paro, Rua, Tuke. She's a pretty tight table, and TVC in 5th place at the moment, with Poroporo and Taneatua coming in at 7th. Okay, this is the senior reserves from last week. Paro 24 over Waimana 13, and the Poroporo 57-20 over Matata.
Yeah, at this level here, it's great to see the guys dusting off the boots again and coming back out of the woodwork to make sure that each of these clubs is fielding a team, which is hugely important, and then everyone gets to enjoy it. A bit of a celebration or commiseration after the game and sit around in the sheds in the club, have a beer or two together.
Absolutely.
We don't have results, but we'll get them next week. You want to just say that?
Yep, so we don't have the results for that division, for the Eastern Bay Plenty Senior Reserves.
We'll do that again. And can you just look down the Y? And Y camera.
Oh, little one.
3, 2, 1, go.
So we don't have the results for the Eastern Bay Plenty Senior Reserves. We do have the results though, Alex.
Standing, sorry.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say. There's the results right there. Tell me when you're ready.
The other issue is the graphic right, because Matata 57, Poroporo 20?
Sure it is.
Okay, we read that wrong. Can we do that whole slide again?
Yep, all good.
Yeah. So here's the Eastern Bay Senior Reserve scores from last weekend. Paro 24, too strong for Waimana 13, and Matata 57 were too strong for Poroporo 20.
Yeah, it is awesome to see these guys coming back out of the woodwork and dusting off the boots again and getting out onto the paddock. showing that these clubs over there in the Eastern Bay of Plenty have got numbers too. May not have 120 running around like they do in Tauranga, but they've got a whole lot of good quality players coming out of the woodwork to put the jersey on and represent their club. So that's fantastic to see. So you see the results up there. We don't have the standings at this stage for the Eastern Bay of Plenty senior reserves, but we'll have them up for you next week.
Okay, let's head over to Rotorua, Central Bay senior men's. Marist St Michael's 35, beat Kahukura 19.
Yes, the boys are very excited about that one. That's my Marist boys. Dylan Pedersen and the boys there are absolutely fizzing at the moment. They have got a couple of pieces of silverware tucked away, and hopefully they'll be able to keep them for the remainder of the season.
Nongataha 33, too strong for Rotoiti.
Yep.
Reparoa 41, with too strong for Eastern Pirates 12.
Yeah, great to see the Reparoa boys being able to put on points like that. It's awesome to see them in that comp.
And Waikite 15 over Murupara 8.
Yeah, Murupara have impressed me a huge deal so far this season. They're able to put 23, 24 onto their paper, and that's their team sheet in, and they've got some really good quality players within that group there.
Excellent. Hey, just bear in mind, folks, all of these scores and all of these points, they all come from RX. So if the scores are wrong, that's because you fellas are entering them wrong. So, it's not us, it's you fellas. So, let's have a look at the table. Nongataha, top of the table.
Top of the table, 6 games, 1 out of 6 games. That's a fantastic start for the season there. But very, very close. Rotoiti and Marist, and Waikite is chomping at the bit there for second place at the moment, which is awesome.
Even Murupara still there.
Oh, anyone's comp.
Yeah.
You know, you can see Kahukura, Murupara there. That's just 1 or 2 more wins, and that whole top 4 there will be changed on its head. So
yeah, very good table. Righto, where are we shooting to now? Back over to Tauranga Western Bay. Yep, here we go. I go Rangiuru 39 over Papamoa 7. I've got a work colleague who plays for Papamoa, says they were well and truly put to the sword, and so they'll be looking to raise their performance.
Yep.
Rangatawa 54, too strong for Huria 12, and Arataki 31 got the dub over Eastern Districts by 7.
Yeah, that's a good result there from Arataki. I did see Portia Woodman was put on the Arataki jersey over the weekend to play for the women's side as well.
Yeah.
Very, very strong club, the Arataki club.
Imagine though, you go along to play a women's game and then you walk out onto the field and there's Portia Woodman.
You run out onto the field and you line up against Portia Woodman. I'd just turn around and walk straight off to the bar. I'd be done. She is an absolutely electric player.
I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
But isn't it awesome to see these superstars coming back and playing for our clubs like Arataki?
Yeah. All right, let's have a look at the Western Bay table. Kati, they're sitting out there on top. They've got a former All Black 7 coaching them, putting on the number 10 jersey, running the cutter.
Yeah, but only just. The Rangiuru senior men are just 1 point behind there, so the difference really there is the bonus points.
Yep. Rangatawa, Arataki, Papamoa, Eastern Districts, and Judea round out the 7. All right, we've got this moment. I'm not sure why it's called Pat's Moment. I reckon a better name is Gug's Moment. But moment of the week. You might have, if you watched this game, you might have heard me get just a little excited when this lady here, Sophie Fisher, the Mount Maunganui Marlins captain, she did some things that props aren't supposed to do.
Yeah, if you watch the hands here from Sophie Fisher, she's able to pass the ball in contact and gets it over the top there. The next one's my favourite.
Yep. There's
this is when she slows her whole team down and says, "Hey guys, we need to just take a second here."
Yeah.
Very, very sensible move there from the captain. Then she grabs the ball herself, drills it straight into touch.
Yeah. Yep. A big touch finder. The first clip was her kicking a bending conversion. That's crazy stuff.
Using the wind.
Yeah.
This one here, I think, is the one that I'm impressed with most. She takes it straight to the line, right into the defence, and then gives a beautiful pass over the top to lead her winger over the line.
And that try there, that tied the game up with 2 minute and a bit to go.
Yeah,
so
showed how important that was.
Yeah. Hey, if you really like the fact that it's called Pat's Moment, then that's all good. But I
think we can do better than that. If we can get a sponsor on board to change that from Pat's moment to somebody else's moment, that's what we want next week, eh?
Absolutely. Let's get a sponsor on board to cover the cost of that, because we don't really want me there. Okay. We've got a couple of things we'll just talk about before we move on to the next segment.
Yep.
Good time now. Let's have a chat about what Rotorua Boys High have just done.
Yeah, so I am a proud ex-Rotorua Boys High First 15 player. Love that club, love that school, love everything about what they're doing at the moment. And to watch them go over to Japan, play in the Sanex Invitational World Championships was a very, very proud moment for an old boy like me. To watch them go through that competition, playing against really, really well-structured Japanese teams, teams from all over the world, and to get into that final against Fielding and have a repeat of the national final from last year, and then absolutely put Fielding to the sword was the proudest couple of days for me. To Te Ariki Rogers, to Hickey Elliott, to all of that coaching staff, JT, Courts Mitta, they just a fantastic bunch of guys there, and that team has absolutely done their school proud. I know JK, Mr. Kendall from Rotorua Boys High, he's still over there. He travelled over with the boys and watched all of their games. He will be the proudest principal in all of Aotearoa, I'd say. Very, very happy man. But from all of us here at the Baby Rugby Boil Up podcast to Te Ariki Rogers and the boys, congratulations. We're very, very proud of you guys. Great to see a huge, big turnout of all the students when they brought the taonga back, when they brought the trophies back. Fantastic to see all of the boys from Raukura up there on the big stairs there they have for their field.
Yes,
big
I saw that welcome back.
Yeah.
They walked through the goalpost. Yeah. That was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, there's some very, very talented players in there. Luke Wasp is their starting lock, and he's an outstanding young man. He'll go far. Obviously, we've mentioned Te Ariki Rogers. He's destined for great things, that boy. That young man, I should say. And there's plenty of other players that are in and out that mix as well. And some younger guys too. They lost about 12 from the national winning side last year. They lost about 12 of those players out, and so they've brought in a whole pile of new players. Really, really good to see. Some year 11s in there too, younger boys, and they're making their mark already.
Nice. And I have a little birdie whispering in my ear telling me that you might be coaching an under-8.
Yeah, well, my boys are all growing up now, and then my partner's young fella's just started playing tackle footy, so she said to me, pretty much told me, you're coaching the Nongata under-8s.
Oui.
So I want to have a big shout out to the Nongi under-8s, the boys and girls of the Nongi under-8s. We're 2 from 2 wins. Outstanding too, I might add. Great coaching and fantastic refereeing. Not biased at all, but just saying that my little under-8s are going exceptionally well early on the season.
Wow, all right. But we're not keeping score though, do we?
No, we don't keep score on that game. But if you do want to know the scores, I think we've got a slide. Do we? No? Oh, right.
You got a highlights package.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, really excited of what's coming up next. It's a new segment that we haven't done before, so we're going to have a crack at it. It's called 10 in the Bin. And it's just an opportunity for us, Gugs, to find out if there's any topical issue floating around.
Yeah, I think it's a good chance for us to argue and debate a fact. And I think tonight we've got our own question here, but it'll be wonderful to see some of our viewers, some of the people that are watching out there at the moment. Send in your questions if you'd like us to discuss it and see where we sit in a particular conversation. Flick in your information or your questions, and we'll be able to dissect that and maybe just give you a couple of ideas of what our brains think about.
Yeah, so tonight, we've got a hot topic. We're going to have a crack at debating it. We'll keep it all above board, but I'm sure our competitive vices are going to kick in. So tonight's question is New Zealand Rugby doing enough to retain young talent? And should New Zealand players who play overseas be eligible for All Blacks selection? So it's
Massive question.
It's a bit of a two-parter.
It's a two-parter, I'd say. So is New Zealand Rugby doing enough to retain the young talent? That's a whole question in itself. And I honestly think that these guys, especially if you look at the guys that are coming back from the Sanex tournament, the boys from Tauranga Boys College, these are very, very talented young men. And we want to make sure that they can grow in their game. There's a lot of money out there. If you're 18, 19 years of age, leaving high school, it's a really, really hard decision to be saying, no, I'm not going to go over to Japan or overseas to Europe and earn big bucks. When you can do that, you can set yourself up for life. The big twist there is really the second part of that question when it says, should they be eligible for All Black selection? So my view, I honestly think we should be encouraging these young men and women to be heading overseas and earning the big bucks. There's money out there for them. We should be promoting that in our game and looking after them. But my personal belief, we want to make sure that we've got the best players for the Black Ferns and for the All Blacks. So regardless of where you are, in my eyes, if you're a Kiwi, you should have that opportunity to play for the All Blacks, play for the Black Ferns, despite playing around the world.
Interesting indeed. Okay, so let me first digest the first half of that question. Is New Zealand Rugby doing enough to retain the young talent? My personal thoughts are there's only a finite pot, for want of a better word, of money. And, we've got 14 NPC sides and 5 or 6, depending on whether or not Moana Pacifica survive the end of this year, 5 Super Rugby sides. But there's more players that are fighting for that top spot, right? So I think New Zealand Rugby is doing the best it can to retain their young talent.
But it's a big, big battle when you're facing all of these companies with a bit of money overseas.
And the other thing too, right? There's 16 NRL clubs.
Yep.
There's 5 MLR clubs. Yeah. There's how many in the English Premier League? Plus, of course, you've got all the European nations with their competition, and they're all professional. Yep. So New Zealand Rugby's doing the best it can with the limited resources it's got.
But do you think that they should be able to play for if they choose to go overseas, if they choose to go offshore, do you think they forfeit their right to be All Blacks or be Black Ferns?
Yeah, take me as a traditionalist, 100%. I think if you want to wear the black jersey and represent the All Blacks, then you are crafting your craft here. This is where you are. And there's a couple of reasons why that's my opinion. Number one, those that want to wear the black jersey usually are the top of our pyramid, the cream of our crop, which pretty much means that there's only probably I can count 2 or 3 on one hand who would fit outside that envelope, and Richie Mo'unga is probably one of them that springs to mind right now. For the rest of the guys who want to wear the black jersey, the best players stay here and they master their craft here. There's some sabbatical clauses in some of the contracts, and they can go off and do an Adi Savia and go and play in Japan for a couple of years, come back for a World Cup. And New Zealand Rugby have done an exceptional job the way they've set up their contracts for that. But
I think you're right there that they have looked after those players. But in my eyes, if we're going to be competitive against South Africa, Ireland, those sorts of teams, England, we've got to be able to pick the best players. And regardless, if we're going to lose players going overseas to play in Japan, to play in Europe, because that's where the money is, I think we still need to be able to have the opportunity to get them back into the framework there to be playing for our national teams.
Yeah, but it depends though. Is Super Rugby the best club competition running around at the moment? It's pretty, like I've been watching Super Rugby for 30 years now. It's really hard I struggle to watch English Premier League. I struggle to watch a lot of the competitions. It's just not physical enough. Actually change the channel, it's boring. But you watch Super Rugby, especially when the New Zealand teams, like tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night, Chiefs
and the Highlanders,
over at FMG,
just up the road. But I tell you what, I'll be glued to the television watching that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go over. I can take my young fella, and we're going to go over and watch that one because that'll be an absolute humdinger. Those Chiefs are fizzing at the moment. But
here proves my case, right? We've got the best talent plying their trade here because they want to wear the All Blacks jersey because that's the way the rules are set up at the moment. It makes our competition the best.
I'd agree with you there. It does make, if we look after those players here, it makes our competition a whole lot stronger. I think that's fantastic. But always come back to the old saying that money talks. You know, for these young fellas that have got a finite sort of length of career, that they're coming out of school at 16, 17, 18 years old, and they've only got a short period that they're going to be able to make big money. Their money is offshore. So,
well, and the Wallabies, they had the Gecko law, which meant that if you'd played 60 tests, you could go overseas and you could be exempt. Maybe we need something like that.
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe New Zealand Rugby needs to be doing something like that to retain the talent.
The Savia law.
While also giving them the opportunity to go and find some money and look after their families, get their families set up as well. So, yeah.
I tell you what, just to segue off this question, how do we keep our women talent here?
Well, I honestly think our women, that you talked about the Super Rugby being the best competition around. Our women's rugby over in New Zealand is just fantastic. Absolutely. These women are talented people. I think we need to be looking after them as much as we're looking after our men within that Super Rugby and then the club level stuff as well. They are... the club level needs to be that breeding ground that's going to go on to the women's Super Rugby. So.
And it may be the question for another night. But
question for another night, or better yet, better than mine and your questions, we could ask one of the viewers.
Yeah. So
flick them through. I've got some details here. So if you go through our social media, so we're on Instagram and Facebook, but of course email as well, info@localgecko.co.nz. Flick us through your ideas, questions that we can debate next week. We want to talk about what you want to talk about. So,
and if we get the right questions, and you and I aren't the experts,
well, let's go and talk.
We've got a couple of spare seats here. We could get microphones over to the Eastern Bay, I'm sure, and get their voice as well. So who knows? But 10 in the bin tonight. Hopefully next week we'll potentially get a sponsor that'll come on board and be able to look after 10 in the bin as well. All right, moving on to the next. Geez, we're hooking through this really quickly, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, Club Legend of the Week. So, the purpose of this, and we all know Club Legends, right?
Well, that's the thing. It's not just the 15 to 20 odd people that are running around on the field. It's those people behind the scenes. We talk about it every week.
Yep.
Referees, the club captains, the old stalwarts that have been leaning at the bar for the last however many years. You've got the ladies in the kitchen. You've got the bar staff. We thank them at every speech. But this is our opportunity to acknowledge these guys here for our Club Legend of the Week. We want you guys to send us the legends, all those people. We want to see photos and videos of those people that make our clubs tick along, that make our clubs work, so that these guys can get out there on the pitch and play every Saturday and Sunday.
And that's that guy who rocks up to your club at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yep. He sets up all the fields.
Sets the fields up, yep.
And then he's still there at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yep, cheering the JAB on in the mornings, and then he's still there in the afternoons and evenings, maybe pouring a pint over the bar, because he does everything. Or she.
Yeah, and because he's also packed up the fields and wound up the ropes and put them all away.
But that's the thing, our game just couldn't operate without these people. They are legends, and each club has got one. We want to hear about your legends. So flick them along, same social media, same email address, get them to us, and we can share that with everybody here next week.
And there's a new thing that we want to also mention right now. It's called Spotlight. Spotlight.
Yeah.
It's a play on words, Spotlight, right? Yep. So we know that we don't cover every single game in the Bay of Plenty every weekend. And we know that you've all got your phones out there. So if you want to get your team on Spotlight, film it with your phone, post it to social media, and then tag us in it.
Tag us in it and we'll be able to get it. We'll choose some of the best and we'll share them up here. So I know my Nongata under 8s, they'll be up here next week because they are next level. These guys are sharp. Good coaching, as I say. But share us there. We had a 99-metre runaway try the other week for Whakareorewa, Tarquin Pinga. And he scooped the ball up on his own line, broke 3 or 4 tackles and got all the way through. He was electric. So he should be up there on Spotlight. But we want to see right from JAB, right through all of the clubs, all of the divisions, all of our male, female, doesn't matter. This is where we want to see best of the best.
I was going to say, if your under 8s were running 99 metres,
well,
you're playing on the wrong size field.
We've measured the wrong field, but that's right.
Okay, coming up, where are we now? Oh, yeah, right. Well, let's get into what's coming up in a couple of days. So let's go around. We'll go backwards this time.
Yep, go backwards this time. So looking at the men's Western Bay of Plenty, senior men's, we've got Judea versus Papamoa. Rangatawa against Eastern Districts. Katikati are taking on Rangiuru.
That's my pick of the round, right? That's top of the table clash. 2:30 p.m. kickoff, Moore Park in Katikati for that game.
Yeah, definitely get there and cheer those guys on because it's going to be a belter, that one.
Heading over to Rotorua, Kahukura are hosting Rotoiti. Waikite is hosting Nongataha, Eastern Pirates, Mara St Mike's. Murupara are hosting Reparo, the local clash.
That'll be a good one. So all 2:45 kickoffs these games. That will be an absolute humdinger. That Murupara versus Reparo. Geez, there'll be two strong clubs banging into each other there. But got to point out, Mara St Michael's again. They'll be looking for another win up against Eastern Pirates this time.
Eastern Bay Senior Reserves. Te Teko are hosting Waimana at 11 a.m. and Paro is hosting Poroporo at 1 p.m. That's the Senior Reserves in Eastern Bay.
Yep, Texas, that'll be a big day over there.
Where are we? Men's
This is the
Colts.
Yep.
So Baywide Colts and under 85s. Tauranga Sports hosting Taupo and Greater Marist are hosting
The Pirates.
Yeah,
they got Te Puke this weekend.
Eastern Bay Premier, Tāne Atua hosting Ruatoki. That's Te Teko hosting TVC and Paro hosting Poroporo. 2:30 kickoffs, with the first game is at 2 o'clock. Men, no, done that one. Women's Premier, Ruatoki are hosting Mount Maunganui Marlins.
That one's going to be broadcast here on Local Gecko TV, so tune in for that one Sunday afternoon.
And Poroporo are hosting Nongataha.
Yeah, Nongataha are going to be very, very strong, so they'll look to travel well, I'd say.
And there with these to mention there, Ruatoki and Mount Maunganui Premier live and exclusive. We do encourage you, if you can, get down to the grounds and support the clubs. But only if you can't get there, like you're watching this from Australia, then obviously.
All the price of gas these days. Far better to buy a subscription here at Local Gecko TV than pay what they're paying for gas. But yeah, this game will be televised, and I think you're calling this one on Sunday, Pete?
Yep,
you got this one. So a huge thanks to Goodrick Contracting again for jumping on board and supporting us with this one here. We're able to get a whole lot more images out there and really good commentary for these games. So thank you very much, Goodrick Contracting.
It also means too, right, with the big massive migration drain to Australia at the moment, there's probably 200 or 300 people who are leaving from our region who can keep in contact and keep watching their clubs.
They still love their clubs.
Yeah.
They'll bleed those colours, and they're able just to tune in on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon and see live action of their boys running around on their home field. So yeah, very, very important to tune in there and get your subscription.
Absolutely. All right, we're one more grade to go, I think it is. Two. Development first. Te Puke are hosting Oporiki Sports.
Yeah, we're going to call that one together on Saturday.
I'm looking forward to working with you.
Yep.
Te Puna are hosting Greater Marist, and Whakareo is hosting Tauranga Sports. And finally, the last round to preview the main games of the Premier. We've got Te Puke Sports and Oporiki.
That'll be the game of the week, I'd say. That one will be a real good one.
Te Puna hosting Greater Marist, and Whakareo are hosting Tauranga Sports Premier Men. All games kick off 2:45.
Yep, as I say, that's going to be the game of the week. Televised here on Local Gecko TV. Pirates over at the Pirate Ship, taking on the Oporiki Sports Premier Men, who are really keen for a win, and they've got the goods too, watching them the last few games. They are very, very sharp. They just need to get that the last pass to stick, the ball over the line, and these guys they'll be the goods.
I'm looking forward to calling this match. It'll be the first time I've seen Oporiki Sports this year, so can't wait. Well, I think we've pretty much come to the end of the Bay Rugby Boil Up podcast. It's been a hell of a fun show to do. I can't wait to get stuck into this next week.
Yeah, no, it's good fun. For somebody who's put about 38 seconds of preparation into it here and about another minute and a half for you. I know the boys behind the cameras have been doing a lot of work there, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it out there. And if you've got feedback, send it on through. We'd love to hear from you. Look, our social media is there. Please reach out to us, email address. Share your thoughts. What do you want to see? We want to be able to provide everything that you guys want to see out there. So get in touch whenever you can throughout the course of the week.
Yep, it's been a fabulous time having you. My name's Pat Ray.
Craig McFadyen.
I will close with karakia and then we'll see you all again, same time next Thursday. Kia tau, kia tātou katoa, te ata whai o tō tātou anaki, ai ukuraiti. Me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake, āmene.
Āmene.
No hōra mai, folks. Puna are hosting Greerton Marist, and Whakareo is hosting Tauranga Sports. Amateurs.
You talking about us or the
What
power?
happened?